This print bytes problem in C. So you can spend some time just reading over here. So basically there's two main conditions. So if n is positive, it prints the first n amount of bytes from a provided file. If n's negative, it should instead print all but the last absolute value of n bytes, where n is the absolute value, which I just said before. Yeah, everything that's outside of the range gets handled by this first case here. So I'm just going to start and make some comments. So we have, case 1, when n is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's case 1. And we have case 2 when n is less than 0, and this will just get handled by a else statement by default. Okay, so here we have if some condition do something, and then here is just everything else will get handled because if we put n, if we do this check to see if n is positive, then by default everything else is negative. Cool. So if n is positive, so 0 or greater, we want to print an amount of bytes from a file to stdout. This is the most straightforward case, I guess. And then this one is if n is negative, we want to print like the entire file except for the last absolute value of n bytes. So for example, if file size is 96 and n passed in is equal to, let's just say, -5, we get a calculation here of 96 minus the absolute value of -5, which is just 5. So we want to equals 91 remaining bytes to print, I guess. Cool. Okay, let's take a breath. I'm gonna get some water. Okay, so here we want to declare a variable. Let's just call it current byte. Okay, so we want to loop through what we need in the file. So for int I equals 0, I is less than n, and then we can have another condition where sorry, let's put this in brackets as well. Current byte is equal to f get c. So we want to read in byte by byte of our file, and then while this is not equal to EOF, then we can just increment. Oh my gosh. Some days I can type and others I really just can't. Okay, so this is working right now. So we want to print out this character to standard out now. So we can use putchar to write a character by a character to standard out, and we're going to use current byte. Looks pretty good to me. Let me just do a check. Current byte equals fgc file. It's not equal to file. Looks pretty good. Okay, so here's the trickier case. Okay, so we need to use some file operations here. Okay, so we want to so just going over the condition again. So we want to print the entire file except for the last absolute value of n bytes. For example, if the file size is 96 and n passed in is equal to -5, we want the remaining bytes to print to be equal to 91. So we can start by using fseek, which takes in our file, and we basically want to try and, here we want to try and go to position that is n bytes away from the file end. So yeah, we want to go through the file, we want to seek through the file, and we want our offset from the end to be equal to n bytes, and yeah, to determine where it goes from. So seek current goes from our current position in the file, wherever our file pointer, like essentially the cursor is at. So seek set goes from the very start of the file, but in this case we want to go the offset of n from the end of the file. Cool. So now we want to like sort of save this position. Okay, so we can use ftell to do this. So let's go we'll go if I just hit ftell here, we can see that it uses a long of the file pointer, so the file stream rather. So we can go long remaining bytes equals ftell in the file. Yeah, so it knows that this position is like in our case here 91, sorry. Cool. So now that this is saved, we want to go back to the start of the file so we can read bytes in order, and we now have a remaining bytes position to know when to stop. So let's go fseek file, and we're going to use an offset of 0 bytes this time, and we're going from the start of the file. Okay, so we're going to create a similar variable like we did in the first if statement. So we've got int current bytes. Okay, so we have for int I equals 0. I is less than remaining bytes, so we want to stop at this position. That's very important here. And we also want it to stop. Let's just move this away. I just get confused with all these brackets sometimes. So we also want it to stop when we have current bytes that we're reading in using fgetc of our file is not equal to the end of file. So we stop reading bytes at the end of file, and that's kind of also covered in, I guess, this rule here. Looks a bit ugly, but it should work. We can clean this up a little bit later, but yeah, we just want to do the same thing. We want to, sorry, let's get rid of this. We want to, yeah, put our bytes to be standard out. So put char current bytes. So let's just run an auto test. What have I done again? Let's see where I've made some mistakes. It's gonna be the same thing here. So this needs a bracket here, and it needs a so equals get C. It's not equal to end of file. Okay, we have passed everything. So that's how we solve this problem.